And so how did you get involved with United Palace, and tell us about United Palace and what it is and has become?
Sure. The United Palace started off initially as one of the Lowe's Wonder Palaces. They were all built in 1930. There were 6 of them, 1 in each borough and 1 in New Jersey City. They all had a unique, glorious architectural design. This is back when going to the movies was a thing, and you would sit with 1,000 or 2,000 of your other neighbors. And then TV comes in, movies going starts to decline. And in 1969, the United Palace, then just the Palace, closed. It's had its last screening was 2001. And then remarkable minister, Reverend Ike, people who maybe old school New Yorkers remember, he bought the theater for his congregation. He screened his services on Sundays on local TV and on the radio. And because he was such a successful person, he was able to keep the theater in immaculate condition. It looks almost exactly like it did if you had come to the theater in 1932. And it's the only one of the theaters that can say that. The others have either been destroyed or have had to be redone. The one in Brooklyn, a lot of people know about. The one in Jersey City, they're still building it and rebuilding it as we speak, but the other ones have been destroyed. But Reverend Ike managed to keep it glorious. And then when he died, his family essentially gave the church, the theater, back to the neighborhood to be an arts center as well as a spiritual center. It still has a big focus on spirituality with services on Sundays still, most days, but also spiritual leaders from around the world come and leading meditations, talks. It's really kind of extraordinary. But along with that, it being an arts center. And about 8 years ago, the head of the theater approached a guy named Lin-Manuel Miranda and said, "What do you think we should do with this space?"
A
guy. He was a guy.
Yeah.
A kid from the neighborhood. And he said, Lynn was like, it was a movie theater. Why don't we start showing movies again? And around that time, they announced that they were going to doing that. I was looking for something to volunteer to do in the neighborhood. And I approached them and I said, I think you need me. Occasionally I say that to people. That's how I got my partner now, has basically said that to him too. And I've been volunteering them ever since for the last 8 years.
Okay. And can you tell me a little bit about how the committee chooses the movies and how often the movies have happened? It's not during the pandemic, but pre-pandemic.
Sure. It's varied. The first year, that guy Lynn, he picked the first year and all the movies, and they were his favorite movies about New York City. We've done things like teamed up with Fox movie company, and we did a year which was all a tribute to the women of Fox, of people like Betty Grable and Shirley Temple. It's actually, they've got it great. And this time, what we did is during the lockdown, various people involved with theater wrote lists of fantasy movies we wish could be screening at the theater. And it came out to, after doing that for about a year or two, about 50 or 60 films. And what we did this time is we put it out to the neighborhood and anybody else who's on our mailing list and said, vote for what you want to have shown. And these upcoming 6 screenings, that guy Lynn I told you about and his family, they're paying to have all the films be free to the neighborhood, as well as extraordinary entertainment. It's his, they're very nice people, that family. And he will be hosting, that nice kid will be hosting all of these screenings, along with some of his friends that he's met over the last few years. For example, next Sunday, he's got this pal named Patty Lapone, couple Tony Awards. They're going to be hosting our first screening, which will be all about Eve. So I'm thinking this is going to be what we're doing. for the next 6 screenings is someone who's quite lovely giving love to our neighborhood.
Okay. So can you tell me a little bit more about the Palace's upcoming shows? And you said that it's still used as a spiritual place. Are there any other things that it's used for besides the showing, free movies to the public?
Sure. Well, as I said, they have concerts there regularly. You can go on their website, unitedpalace.org, and see everything is coming. I know Wilco is coming in the spring and going to be doing performances. I think it's 6 performances of one of their greatest albums. Because we're a largely Dominican neighborhood, a lot of amazing Latino music is used there. But Iggy Pop has played there. It's Dylan's played there. It's a really unique space to have a concert at. As I said, they do Deepak Chopra. One of the last things I saw there before we closed, just happened to show up and do a talk, which is kind of amazing. Just to sort of like, I'm in my neighborhood and here's this world-renowned person just giving me his thoughts, and that's pretty cool. What was the first question about the theater? Oh, the screenings. So screenings. So I'm very proud of what our neighborhood did. So out of this huge list, they picked what we're going to do. And it really is, I think, reflective of our neighborhood in that it's very diverse, both culturally and gender-wise. Like the classic movie is all about Eve. I thought that was pretty hip. I've been actually pushing on them to do a Betty Davis for a while. We didn't know which one was the neighborhood talk. But we're showing Do the Right Thing. We're showing Coco. We are showing Indiana Jones, the first. We're showing Black Panther. Showman. So the next movie is Greatest Showman.
What is it?
The Greatest Showman.
Oh, The Greatest Showman. Okay.
I don't know who the guest is going to be there. But the star of the show and that movie is on Broadway right now. I make no promises.
And I look forward to seeing you this Sunday. And there are no longer orchestra seats.
There's no orchestra seats. You can have balconies, and the balcony seats are amazing. Amazing. You've not a bad seat in the house. We are the 4th largest theater in New York City. So that's Radio City large. So there will be room for you most likely, but do get onto our website, unitedpalace.org, and get your seats now.
Okay. And I will have that link in the newsletter. Thank you so much for taking this time. And I will see you next Sunday, which is
Looking forward to it.
6th. The doors will open at 11 o'clock and the ceremony will start at noon.
That's right.
Thank you.